Well, it's right around the time now for a little Mardi Gras, so I say laissez-les bon temps brûlé, laissez-les bon temps brûlé, laissez-les bon temps brûlé, laissez-les bon temps brûlé. Everybody's just shaking their head at me, disgusted.
What the French call les incompetents.
Les incompetents, what's that? So we're going to talk today about a New Orleans classic, which is called Café Brûlot. If I'm not mistaken, Café Brûlot translates from French to burning coffee or fire coffee or burned coffee. And that's what it is. This is fire and coffee. It's a really old drink. It goes back to the 1800s, served in New Orleans. I had read somewhere that Café Brûlot originates with Jean Lafitte himself. I don't know if that's really true. I do know that it's been served since the latter half of the 1800s at Antoine's. Antoine was a very famous restaurateur, opened a number of restaurants in New Orleans. Antoine's restaurant itself is still, of course, in business. And also at Arnaud's. There are two traditions here. Arnaud's, and I might be getting this a little bit wrong, the Arnaud's method of making Café Brûlot involves doing more of the seasoning in the bowl and in the cup. And also, when we come to peeling this orange, we're going to use the whole orange with the peel still attached. And just looking at these two recipes, I have to say, I really liked the way that the Antoine's recipe sounded, which actually, I'm taking this recipe straight out of Dale DeGroff's mouth. Dale DeGroff did a fantastic video to support a product line that they came out with at Cocktail Kingdom. So he makes a Brûlot bowl, and also these beautiful, beautiful Brûlot demitasse, and this silver-plated Brûlot ladle. His bowl is $700, so as much as I love it, I'm not gonna buy it unless I become obsessed with Café Brûlot. If I was in the service industry and I had to serve a couple of Brûlots a week to guests, it would totally make sense. For my purposes, that didn't work. I did find this hammered copper bowl and plate set, which I'm gonna provide a link to. I will say this comes with a food-safe lacquer on it to make it nice and shiny. Doesn't help us though, because we're gonna burn stuff here. So we wanna scrape the lacquer off, particularly the outside. A little bit of steel wool or any kind of a scrubber will do it. It doesn't take much. Of course, it won't be as shiny anymore, but you know, such is the price we pay. And what's special about his silver ladle? Well, first off, the one side has this nice strainer on it, and then the other side is open. That's great. And the bowl is a 2-ounce bowl, which helps us in measuring. We're gonna use the strainer side, actually, not so much for straining, but to slow down our pour, because when we do this very spectacular pouring thing, we wanna pour more slowly, and that strainer will help slow down the pour speed. That said, we're doing the Antoine's version, not the Arnaud's version. Very similar, I think. I think the end result is probably almost identical. The difference is just sort of how you get there. Antoine's version calls for making a Brûlot liqueur, an infused mix of spirit. And so, just following Dale DeGroff's recommendations, we're gonna go with brandy and Kirschwasser. I am using Corbel brandy. This is not really expensive or great or fancy brandy, but when I looked at the list of spices and I tasted this against the Pierre Ferrand, yeah, no, this can't compare to Pierre Ferrand. When I think about it, I'm gonna sweeten it, I'm gonna spice it. I think that for like the money, this is probably gonna be fine. Dale was really specific about getting a real cherry eau de vie for the other half of this recipe, not a cherry flavored brandy. This is Cedar Creek, Clear Creek Distillery's 80 proof cherry brandy. It is a brandy made from distilling cherries, or fermenting and distilling cherries. The mix would be 2 parts brandy to 1 part Kirschwasser, and then a mix of cloves, lemon and orange peels that you let kind of macerate together overnight. Strain off and bottle, and here is the resulting goods. The other thing we're gonna need is a little bit of 151. We're actually just gonna use this for fuel, and we're using Lemon Heart & Sons. And we're gonna need some demerara simple syrup. We're gonna need a bowl to work in. We will need a brew of hot coffee. There's not coffee in here yet, but there will be. I have it in a thermal carafe. I'll put it in before we present. And in New Orleans fashion, the coffee we should be using is a coffee and chicory, or a coffee with chicory in it. And lo and behold, the coffee with chicory in it that I can get around here is Café du Monde's brand. So I feel like we can't really go too far wrong with this. This is definitely the right coffee to make. The next thing we want to do is we're going to pre-prepare the peel of this orange. And this is a little bit different than you've ever seen anything we're going to do on the show. What we're going to do is we're going to take a channel knife, and I am going to use this to carve a spiral path that goes all the way down this orange. So, and I'm following Dale's instructions here. We're gonna break the rules a little bit. Normally, when we would want an orange peel, we would want to use a Swiss peeler or something like that so that we don't get the pith. In this particular case, we actually kind of want to take the pith, and we're gonna use a paring knife carefully to kind of achieve that after we've carved that path to kind of give us some place to go, make our lives a lot easier. I'm just gonna very carefully go around here and take this entire peel off in one piece. If I don't do it in one piece, we have to start over. That would be terrible. It would be terrible, wouldn't it? Why do we want the pith? Well, we want the pith in this case because we want this peel to have structure. We don't want it to be real flimsy. Now, we've got our big old orange peel, and we're gonna stud this with cloves all the way down its length, about 1 per inch and a half. This isn't really rocket science, so if you're a little off on that, you don't go to Café Brûlot jail. I personally find it pretty hard to get a clove through skin, so sometimes I pre-hole it like this. We've got our orange peel studded with cloves. We're going to let that set until we're ready for it and prep the rest of the drink, which is gonna happen in this mighty, mighty bowl. So I wanna put into my bowl 2 ounces per serving of Café Brûlot that I'm making. In my case, 7 actually. And the ladle, of course, is 2 ounces, so 1, I look very great doing that. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That's the first part of this Brûlot. Put this guy away. I want to charge this plate at the bottom here with a bit of 151. Clean up at this point any alcohol that would have spilt because we don't want to cause a problem, a fire. So I've got my Brûlot mix here in the bowl. I've got 151 fuel around it because we're gonna heat it up with that. I've got this peel set up on a fork, okay? And I do have friends standing by with fire extinguishers should it become necessary. We're gonna light our bowl on fire. Yeah, that's going now, it's burning. That's a lot of fire. All right, we're gonna put this into the bowl. We're gonna take a little bit of this, let that catch fire now. And now what we do is we wanna pour this down our orange. Some exciting stuff here. And there's a lot of wonderful smells happening. Our orange is, oh boy, baby. And so what we're doing is we're cooking all the oils out of our, out of our orange here. And we're gonna cook those cloves in a huge bowl of super hot fire. I mean, this is just outrageously dangerous. This is something really dumb. You know what? It would be better if we turn this around. He says, as he's dealing with a bowl of literal fire. This will be better for camera. And that's enough. We're gonna say that that's enough. And so the next step is we're going to add, this is still burning, trust me. We're gonna now add hot coffee to this until the fire goes out. And apparently that's when you get the real show. And I'm just gonna keep pouring until the fire goes out. And that is the appropriate amount of coffee for Café Brûlot. Oh man, look at that. And that's it, we've made Café Brûlot for the first time in my life. It's a little hot, so I don't want to touch it with my bare hands. As you can hear, it's sizzling. God damn it.
But nothing lit on fire.
Nothing has been on fire. So I've got these unbelievably cool Brûlot cups here from Dale de Graaf with little devils on them. Oof, look at that. That smoke coming out of there, that's beautiful, isn't it? And the next thing we have to do is add our sugar to this. Now, I have actually yet to find a recipe that calls for a specific amount of sugar. I think we just add it to taste. So I'm gonna free pour this in here. I know it's gonna need a lot of sugar. And as Dale DeGroff very, merrily points out in his video, this is a dessert drink, okay? So that was about a half a cup of syrup. If you're serving it, have a little tasting cup. Pour yourself some, see if it's ready yet. I think it could be a little sweeter, actually. Not much. We like this. Let's serve up some Brûlot. All right, guys, this is Café Brûlot, or the burning coffee. It smells intensely of clove and chicory and coffee. The taste is, it's delicious. It is delicious. It's very, the orange, as you people who are not in the Northeast say, it's subtle. It's really nice. It's like, I never thought about how much I liked orange in coffee before, but boy, I really like it. This, oh, that is so good. Oh, man. It is just the right amount of sweet to my taste. Of course, you will add sugar to your preference. It is warm and just like has that wonderful toddy effect of a hot drink that's well made but has proof in it. And it definitely does have proof in it. It was still burning until we added coffee to it to put it out. So it's not like it burned out. And even if it did burn out, that would only indicate that it was down to like 60 proof versus 80 or something like that. I forget where it stops burning, but it's higher than you expect it to be. There's plenty of alcohol in here, particularly for a nightcap after dinner drink, a dessert drink, which is what this is. Could you achieve this without an enormous bowl of fire? Yes. You certainly could. Probably a little bit of oleosaccharum in your coffee with some cloves as part of a component will get you there. Will it be nearly as cool? No. Nothing will be cooler than this. However, I will say, no fire drink have I made that put the fear of God in me the way this one did. This is a house ruiner. You have got, I'm not joking, there's a serious disclaimer on this. Be very careful if you're gonna make this. I would really prefer that you do it outside, or if indoors at all, where there's a vaulted ceiling or a tin ceiling, because like, the fire is big. You are dealing with an alcohol bonfire. There's a lot of old pictures I find of, if you look up Café Brûlot online, of like Brûlot masters wearing like devil costumes and horns and stuff like that. The photographs don't really do justice to what I can imagine was the spectacle of making Brûlot in a dimly lit environment. And it's not just for show. Running that hot burning alcohol down the skin of the orange is going to cause all of those oils to express and caramelize in a way that they wouldn't normally. The same for the cloves that are there. Of course, there's a big clove infusion in this, but boy, it's delicious. I hope you're having a great Mardi Gras. Looking forward to an exceedingly dour Lent. If you want to see more episodes where I set things on fire, please check out more of my fiery episodes, but please also be very, 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 very careful if you try to do any of this at home. I don't endorse you doing any of this at home. I am on Instagram at How to Drink. I'm on Twitter at How to Drink. I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/howtodrink. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Greg from HTD. There's nothing, I didn't do anything gamey on this episode, but I do things over there that are not exclusively about video games, so if you want to check that out, that'd be great. If you missed the Twitch live stream, it will later be on H2D2. This is Greg's Gone Wild. Greg's Gone Wild is down at Mardi Gras. Checking out all the Gregs going all the wild. Throw me some beads, mister. Give me a bead! Ah. Happy Mardi Gras, les bon temps roulés.